Good day, everybody. It is Kristy and Myranda from Okketoh. So today is November 2nd, which is, she calls it the day of reckoning. It is the day we get on the scale. It has been a whole month since we've been on the scale, and we also took measurements the last time we were on the scale just to see what it would say after a month. I wanted Myranda to understand that you should not always rely on the scale. It does not always say what's really going on. It should be used as a tool. So let's see what our little experiment generated, right? So I weighed in on September 28th at 147.3. Today I weigh in at 147.0. So down 0.3 in a month. I have not changed my macros, and I am in maintenance. I'm not going to change my macros for a while just to see what else will happen. I'm also almost 5'8". And okay, so what happened with the inches, with the measurements? Well, I lost 2 inches in my waist in a month. I lost 3/4 of an inch in my hips. I lost 1.5 inches in my thighs. I lost 1.5 inches in my calves. I lost 3/4 an inch in my arms and 3/4 an inch in my neck. That's pretty impressive. Only going down 0.3 and all those inches that came off. So that right there tells you you should not always rely on the scale. Please, please take measurements. Take measurements once a month. I think that right there will tell you that it's working. So Myranda on September 28th weighed in at 162.2. I'm sorry, she weighed in at 163.8. Today she weighs in at 162.2. She's down 1.6 pounds in a month. But let's look at the measurements. Wow. Wow. People, please measure. Please. The waist, she lost 6.5, 6.5 inches off of her waist in a month. 6.5. 2 3/4 inch off her hips. 2.5 inches off her thighs. 1 inch off her calves. 1/2 inch off her arms. And 1 1/4 inch off of her neck in a month.
And people were saying they noticed that.
People,
the neck thing.
People say in the videos they noticed that she's lost weight. And okay, now if you would not think that those numbers would come from 1.6 pounds of weight loss. You wouldn't, would you?
No.
No.
I saw that number honestly before we took measurements. I'm like, wow, this is about to be embarrassing.
What?
Coming on here and saying I only lost 1.6 pounds.
Yeah. Okay, now think about it. If we would have not took measurements and she would have got on the scale and she would have been probably depressed.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have ate today.
She would have been depressed at only losing 1.6 pounds in a month. I know her. She would have had an attitude.
Oh, they know how often do I bring up my mistakes on here, like my mess ups in keto. Like I'm one of those people who kick myself when I'm down.
Yeah, and she gets depressed and she has a bad attitude, and it reflects the rest of her day and sometimes the rest of the week. And that's why I did not want to get on the scale daily. That's why I did not want to get on the scale for a whole month, not even weekly. I wanted her to see, hey, guess what? When that scale isn't moving quite as fast as what you want it to, or even if it doesn't move at all, you can be moving in other parts of your body. I mean, look at me. I went down only 0.3 in all those inches that came off of me. I mean, I could tell because my clothes are just falling off like crazy. But I did not take measurements until today. And I'm so glad I did this with her. I think now that you know if you stick to it, even if the scale isn't going to move, your body's going to shrink.
Absolutely.
I think that's very important for everybody to know this. So please, if you're frustrated with the scale, please take measurements. And then just wait a month and see what happens.
Stick to it. Don't slash the other 3 tires. Don't do it.
Right. Don't slash the other 3 tires.
Don't be like me. When I've been dieting for what, like 2 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get down to like 120. I started at 220. I went down and I gained some weight because.
And how tall are you?
Comfort. 5'3".
She's 5'3". So, and that's something else. When she started keto, I did not tell her she needed to track or anything like that. I do track. I do not use apps. I'm old-fashioned. I write it down in a food journal. That's how I know what affects me and what doesn't affect me. And I didn't want to have her track or even say track to her. I just wanted her to focus on keeping the carbs below 20, getting the fat and the protein in, and getting adjusted. Now that she's adjusted, starting today, she's going to start tracking.
Via an app.
Yeah, you're going to use what? Carb Manager? Mm-hmm. She's going to use Carb Manager. She's young. I'm sure she can figure all that. She's hip to it. She's going to use Carb Manager, and she's going to track. And then in a month, we'll see what tracking does for her.
And I have a feeling it's going to be down a lot more because, admittedly, now that she brought up tracking to me, I started reflecting on my past meals, and I may have had too many low carb tortillas in this past week.
And I'll tell you something else that happened. Now that I'm in maintenance, I incorporated. I had a serving of popcorn. I told you that, and I had to throw it out because I didn't think I would be able to control myself. But later on that evening, I got a rash really bad on my body, and I had medicated lotion from my dermatologist because last year I broke out for 2 months, and it was horrible, in hives, and we couldn't figure out what it was.
Thought it was the dogs.
I was allergic to the dogs all of a sudden and everything. And I went to the dermatologist, and she gave me medicine for it. And then after a while, it cleared up. Of course, I had started keto, and I wasn't eating popcorn or anything like that. So the day I had that serving of popcorn, in the middle of the night, I broke out in hives. I had to get up. I had to put the medicated lotion on.
She didn't make that correlation.
I did not make that correlation until the other day. I picked up some more popcorn that was a gingerbread one, and it was really good. I'm not going to lie to you. It was good. And I had a serving of that. I made it fit in my macros. I was fine. I didn't go over because I'm still tracking, and I have not adjusted my macros. I just want to see what is still going to happen with this so far. But same thing happened. I broke out in hives again. So now I know what causes it. It's the popcorn. So I cannot incorporate popcorn. Now
love hurts.
I will probably try a baked sweet potato. I can't have gluten, so I would never incorporate anything that has gluten into my diet again. But maybe once a month, I will, now that I'm in maintenance, incorporate a baked sweet potato when I go to a steakhouse and have my steak. I'm kind of scared to try it, but if I do, of course, I'm not going to eat any other carbs that day. The only carbs that will come from my baked sweet potato.
Oh, now I really want to hit maintenance so I can be doing that.
This is something, it's a lifestyle to me, so this is how I'm going to maintain. So if I eat the baked sweet potato and it causes a negative effect on me, like I start craving carbs more, or who knows, break out in a rash or something, of course I will have to take that out. But right now, I'm sitting pretty good, and I'm going to see what happens. Like I said, I'm not changing my macros. I'm just going to see what continues. If I continue to lose a little bit or those inches still fall off, I'll be happy. I was 322 pounds at my heaviest in my life, and the other day I bought a extra small shirt. I've never been an extra small.
So I remember when I first could fit into mediums.
It was such an awesome non-scale victory to be able to put on an extra small. I've never, ever been able to do that.
I'm going to let you guys in on a non-scale victory. Nothing feels better than buying a new pair of smaller jeans. Yes. And having them just slip on and hug you tight. It is such a good feeling. And as soon as I get down to where they are loose enough, I'm going to get me a pair of size 4. I'm ready for it.
So, and her heaviest, what was you?
220.
220. And you are at 162.2. So she's doing awesome. I think we're doing awesome. I don't know if we will be getting on the scale next Saturday. We'll talk about it, and we'll see how that goes from now on. Maybe it might be once a month. We'll see. If it affects her, then it's only going to be once a month. If she feels okay with it, maybe we will continue to do it on Saturdays.
I think I'm up for that because I think you just motivated me hardcore to get strict about this.
Up for what? Once a month?
Once a week.
Once a week.
I think I can do that because I'm gonna.
But you're not gonna be negative if it doesn't go down, right?
No, I won't be negative.
Okay.
But I don't think it will have any issues because I'm going to be tracking now. I think that was my issue. Even though I was keto, I was having too much keto stuff, you know? Because I was having I'm not going to lie, those low-carb tortillas are my life. But that being said, they have 4 carbs or 6 carbs, or even there's one with 8 carbs, 8 net carbs. If you got 2 of those, you got 16.
And I can't have them because they still do have gluten in them, so I haven't even tried them.
And if you count that with like whatever I'm eating it with, there's your carbs for the day in one meal.
Exactly.
So I think with tracking, I'm gonna be up for once a week. I think we can do this.
Okay, so next Saturday we'll get on the scale. But what we will do is, now we know your measurements. We won't take measurements again until a month from today. And even if the scale doesn't do what you want it to do, we'll still have the measurements to see how well you did. So now you know, if the scale doesn't move, that doesn't mean to give up, right?
I know.
Right?
That's what I was saying earlier. Don't be like me because, like I said, I've been dieting for 2 years. And when I don't see the results I want as fast as I want them, I tend to kind of give up. And that's why I keep going down, up, down, up, down, up.
That's why I thought this was very important to do. To not get on the scale and to take measurements so that she could see. The scale is a great thing to use as a tool. But you shouldn't put all your eggs into one basket because a lot of the times you're losing inches when the scale isn't moving. So that's a great lesson. I hope all of you can learn from us to do that, especially if you're getting frustrated. Stick to it. It's a great process. This should be a lifestyle. It helps with so much. I've cured so many illnesses from this. That's the most important thing, is being healthy. And I want her A1C under control. I don't want her to be diabetic. I don't want to be diabetic. I don't want,
medicine. The cost alone should be motivation to go keto.
Right, and arthritis and...
People often say dieting is so expensive and stuff. Keto's actually not really expensive. Like, you just can't be buying steaks every day. But if you got a freezer pack of chicken, but everybody says that, but they don't think of the cost of heart medication to get your cholesterol under control, insulin if you get diabetes. Like, those are expensive.
Exactly.
Especially if you're poor like me and have really low cost insurance. If I got diabetes, I'd be kind of
the test
SOL type thing, you know?
Yeah, and the risk of amputation and death.
Like if you ever watch My 600-Pound Life, they go through all the things you can get: heart disease, and you get diabetes, and you can't move, and if you get so heavy, you get those sores and like creases in your body where the sores get, and it's just awful. And that I'm not gonna lie, I watch My 600-Pound Life to motivate myself, to be like, okay, this is why you're working so hard. Like if I want to go out and get an ice cream from the Sonic down the street from my place, I watch My 600-Pound Life. I'm like, you have to work hard too. They're working hard in there. They have to lose the weight before they can qualify for weight loss surgery. And they do it because they know they don't have that long if they keep it up. And it's, one guy gained 60 pounds in a week. It's way easier to gain weight than lose it. But it's way better to lose it than gain it.
Right.
So you got to keep motivating. Keep on trucking. Get through your rough patches. Don't slash your tires.
Exactly. So this is our Saturday weigh-in.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk there.
Your TED Talk, yeah, it is kind of like a TED Talk. So now that she said she wants to do it once a week, we will. If she gets negative Nancy on me, no, we're going to cut that out. We're going to cut it out because I don't need that in my life. I don't need her to have that in her life.
They can't even picture me with a negative attitude.
They can tell that really improved.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have this than the nastiness. So, yeah. And the attitude. Because it lasts all day and sometimes a couple days. And then sometimes she won't eat. That's not good.
Yeah.
And so on. So, all right. Now that she said that she wants to do it once a week, we will see you next Saturday. We're going to still call it scale day because we will get on the scale. But even if that scale doesn't go down or even if it goes up a little bit, because it does fluctuate, it does go up sometimes, we still have our measurements and we will see in a month what they say. So we will see you next time. Bye.
Deuces.